It's been a weird day. Not in any kind of bad way, just fucking weird. But then, I'm a veteran of strange, so it's nothing new. Clean the camera here. I should probably do that before I start videos, but, you know, whatever. Like my shirt, Jedi Master. Yep, that's me. Among other things that I do and am. Lots of other things. So, where did I leave off? I left off this morning. I was talking about getting poisoned and it showing up in my hospital tests. And I don't think there's much more to say about that situation in Napomo. One thing I will say, though, one thing I will say, I warned those people, like I warned them. There was one situation in particular that, that happened when that motherfucker was in the crawl space or attic. I mean, it looked like an attic, but it wasn't. I knew he could hear me. And I warned him. And I know it was a man because I heard his voice, both through my walkie-talkie and also, with my ears. And, I warned him. And because it wasn't just him, there were others. But he was the one in the attic. I warned him, and he heard me. I know that he did. I warned him about God. I warned him about what God does to people who mess with me. And it wasn't even any kind of boast or, I was simply relaying the truth. That was it. I know things have gotten really real for those people. And, I don't actually know. Stop, Mimo. In real life, so to speak, I don't actually know. I don't keep up with these people. I don't keep up with the DeChance family. I don't keep up with Timothy Hutchinson. I don't keep up with Alan Hootkin. I don't keep up with Cindy and Charlie Gouyache. I don't keep up with any of them. I don't talk to them. So I don't know what's going on in their lives, today, so to speak. But I do know at the same time, I know these people are not having an easy time. It's been really bad for them. I don't have clearance to say the rest. But I did warn him about that. And, I hoped by extension that he would warn the others, but he didn't. And if he did, I'm sure they thought I was joking or saying that to, get them to back off or whatever. No, the truth was I was just simply relaying a message to them. So, anyhow, massive downloads, but then there's nothing new about that. Everything that's put in, every obstacle to me is an activation, so bring it on kind of thing. I'm not bothered in the slightest. Last night I was feeling some really nasty energy up on the mountain. But it wasn't my energy. It was directed at me, but I'm unbothered, in case anyone hasn't noticed. I don't care. You have no idea the kind of shit that I've dealt with. I mean, just the black magic alone would make most people run. I'm not even kidding about that. Not even a little bit. But the things that I've dealt with up on the mountain, it makes Saw movies look like child's play. So, and I do realize, that I realize a lot of things, but I don't know if these people know that the harder they go after me, the easier it is for me. And like, I don't even need to do anything, is the thing. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to, go yelling and screaming, oh, somebody's stalking me. So I don't even need to prove it. It's the truth. I don't even need to. I know that I've nearly solved my own case already. The CIA should hire me, no doubt. I mean, so many of the techniques that the CIA, my father was career military, so was my stepfather. But so many of the techniques that, yeah, I see you. Don't think that I don't. A lot of the techniques that the CIA and FBI and all these, the fucking acronym agencies use, I've been using those techniques for years. There's nothing, there's nothing particularly new about it. They're ancient techniques. And all these things. And I do realize that, of course, that the situation with me is bigger than what happened in Napomo. Like, by a lot. I get that. I think that my parents might not be who I thought they were. Of course, both my parents are dead, my biological parents. I mean, as far as, what it says on my birth certificate and all. But I have a completely different name. Not completely different, but it's different on my birth certificate than the name I use. So there's that too, which I always thought was funny. My mom always told me, and even if I did find out I was adopted or switched at birth or some shit like that, I wouldn't even be bothered. Not at all, because my mother is my mother and my father is my father, and that's just all there is to that. But I'm just I'm literally unbothered. I'm just unbothered, period. And when you have peace that surpasseth all understanding, surpasseth that surpasseth. Now I can't say it. When you have the peace that transcends all understanding, you're just like, you fucking become Bruce Lee. Like, I don't know how to, you're unshakable. I mean, I've not only proven that to myself a number of times, but, and I think that that's the only thing I have, or, person that I want to prove myself to is myself. And, there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of power in being underestimated too. But I mean, I've always said that, I'd rather be underestimated than overestimated. Because, to be overestimated is a tactical error. It's a strategy to be underestimated, But then, strategies come in all forms, don't they? But, I was a military tactician in another life, I'm sure of it. Like, one of the best, too. There's a lot of power in being unbothered. There just is. There always has been for me. Even when I am bothered, you won't know it necessarily. But, there's a lot of power in taking a strategy of, waiting. And not that I'm waiting on anything. That's not what exactly is going on. But, and at the same time, I know that it's coming. I know that it's here, in fact. Like, it's already here. It's already happened. It's already done. Like, I claim victory over that shit. Wholeheartedly, 100%. And, I would just say that when you know that God is up to big things in your life, you're not waiting on anything. And anyway, divine timing is divine timing. There's nothing to be forced. There's nothing to be done. It is what it is. And I don't mean like some cop out, like, oh, it is what it is, so I'm not going to do anything. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, I've done all the work I can do. And I still busy myself with always finding the truth. But the thing is that when you make the truth your business, and that's all you look for, that's all you see. Like, people look for problems where they find problems. People look for, whatever it is, positive or negative or neutral, they find it. So, it's really a matter of where you're going to set your attention and intention. And there's a deep sense of knowing. And not just knowing things, but like knowing ideas, concepts, wisdom. And I would say like the last year and a half has been an intense walk with God, where I literally got rid of everything and everyone. Not got rid of everyone, but like I just some people I didn't cut them off, because truthfully, you don't, when you're ascending so high, you don't need to cut anyone off. You just keep ascending, and the air gets really thin up there, so to speak. 11 when I said that. And you like, things just fall off. They just fall away, because they literally cannot hang on to you anymore. They can't hang on to your energy. They can't hang on to you. Nothing. And but I was up on the mountain last night, and I felt some nasty energy, like the black magic type energy that I felt up there. And sure enough, I got out of the car. It was like midnight, around there, because I had just woken up. I went to bed at not bed, but car seat. I laid down in my car seat around like 8 or so, and I woke up at about midnight. And I was up until about 3 in the morning, and I did a video last night, or early this morning, and I tried to get back to sleep, but like my energy just wasn't having it. So I just got up and moved us down into the city, because I wanted a pack of cigarettes, to be honest with you. I really wanted some cigarettes. So I did that, and the information, the downloads, the memories, it's coming hard and fast. And like, I don't mind. I'm down with that. Sorry, there's somebody stretching over there. It just looks all types of wrong. Anyway, there's a lot of power in being unbothered. I would say, it's not about that you don't care or anything like that. For chosen ones, it's different, in the sense that we just simply know what's important and what isn't. And when you have your mind set on that, you're unbothered. Because when you make your business your father's business, or when you make your father's business your business, be about your father's work, life becomes so much easier. It just does. I mean, life is just so much easier. It doesn't require much effort. When you're not afraid, things just flow so much more organically. You don't have to force anything. And you just find that, life is a lot happier. And, not just praying and meditating and fasting, but exercising every day, getting out in the sun, feeding my mind good food, even when I can't eat like physical good food. I mean, I'd rather eat nothing really than eat crappy food anymore, but at the same time, I love to eat. I just do. I love to eat. I love food. Love to cook. I'm good at it. I'm good at all of the above, eating and cooking and doing dishes. But anybody who's going through a really hard time right now, I would suggest, or someone's asking me, but if you're looking for suggestions, hang in there. Don't give up. You're the most important thing you could ever invest in. The most important thing ever. Stick with it, and know that in every fiber of your being, no matter what your life looks like, on the outside, inside, any of it, it's worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it. And don't ever give up. Never You know, be persistent until your last breath. Be determined and relentless in every way, shape, or form. And keep your mind focused. You know, if you have a hard time with that, find something that you like to do. Find something that you're interested in, whatever that is. Doesn't matter if it's a hobby, whatever. And stick with that, because that's important. It's important to keep your mind busy and also passionate about what you're doing. You know, if your brain is hungering for more than likely you're on to something that's, you know, not only good for you, but good for other people too, and also good for your soul. You know, and there's something about I mean, who's ever sat down to like a good meal, or like a meal at your favorite restaurant or whatever? You know, your grandma cooks something, or your mom cooks something that you just love, and nobody else can make it the way she makes it, kind of thing. And you sit down to this meal and you're just like, oh my God, this is so good. And it's like that every single time. You know, it's like that when you find something that you really love too. It's like that when you find a calling that you're passionate about, not only in your heart but your mind. It helps to heal us, and it helps us stay on track, no matter what gets thrown our way. And by finding those things and focusing on them, like almost to the exclusion of everything else. And I know that sounds kind of stupid or simple-minded maybe, but it's not. There's a power in focus. There's a real power in focus, especially when it's self-fed focus, and nobody's telling you, in other words, to do this or that or the other thing, whatever. When you are the one telling yourself, and you know, then at the end of the day, when you've accomplished your goals, or the end of the week or end of the month or whatever it is, you don't have anyone else to give credit to except yourself. You catch my drift? That way, you know, not only do you accomplish things and, you know, feel the, you know, and feed your heart, mind and spirit and body good things, because we are what we eat as much as we are what we pay attention to. But it builds a solid foundation for any individual to progress and to make it to the next level. And, you know, when you get to that next level, which I hope is everybody's goal, you find that you're that much more untouchable, that much more unshakable. And every time you do that, you level up. You know, whatever that is. You know, if you've got fitness goals, if you've got spiritual goals, you've got healing goals, whatever that looks like for you. It's important to feel like you're getting somewhere. Because when you don't, it makes the work monotonous and tedious, kind of like, again, you know. But when you keep it new and enthusiastic and you're meeting your goals and, you know, leveling up, it keeps that passion, that drive behind you, and you have more of a single-minded focus when you're doing, when you're doing those things, because, you know, I'm like really focus on it to the exclusion of all else, you know, or at least in that moment. Don't think about anything else, because there isn't anything else in that moment anyway. You know, when we dwell in the past, we're literally dwelling in the past. And when we think about the future, we're not appreciating our time right now. And right now is really the only moment there ever is. I mean, although I understand, you know, I'm an experienced time traveler. And, you know, even as much as I think about the future and do think about the past, reflect on the past, it's not where I dwell, though. It's not where I stay. I don't stay there. There's not really any power in staying there. And I would just encourage people to seek out their own personal power. You know, if people are not going to empower you. This world is not set up to empower people. It's just not. So, you know, be your own driving force. It's a success mind state, you know, to be your own driving force, because really at the end of the day, if you can't count on yourself, who the fuck can you count on? It's a legitimate question. So I just really encourage people to do those things You know, whatever that is, you know, if it's hanging hammocks, or if it's, you know, freaking mowing grass, or if it's swimming in the ocean, or whatever it is that floats your boat, you know, go for that. You know, as long as it's not hurting anyone else or hurting yourself. And I mean in any way, because people do stupid shit all the time. And they claim, oh, I'm not hurting anyone. And I'm like, yeah, you are. You're hurting yourself. Or, you know, you're indirectly hurting this other person. And people just really don't want to hear that. They don't want to see that. Even though it's the truth all the same. You know, people are really, you know, so like, it's, you know, and I found that spirit was in me at times too, that I didn't want to look at some of the self-destructive behaviors that I had. I didn't want to look at why. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't know why I smoked cigarettes. No idea. I didn't know. If you asked me, I would have said because I like smoking. But that's not the truth. The truth is, oh, I mean, I do like smoking. But like, the truth is, it was something else. And, you know, once I addressed that issue, and, you know, a lot of people would argue with me, and that's fine. At the same time, I know myself better than anyone else knows me. And better than any human knows me. And it's important that you know why you do things. It's important that you understand yourself. There's real power in knowing oneself. There's power there that you just cannot get from anything or anyone else. 21:21 on the clock when I said that. And, you know, to know yourself is one of the greatest superpowers you'll ever have. So, like, you know, cultivate that, because you're going to spend most of your life in your own head, like most people do. So you can either, you know, make it hell, which most people do, or you can cultivate it, you know, dig it like a garden. And I'd much rather have like a nice, you know, rose garden to hang out in, excuse me, than, you know, some of the bullshit, horrible places that most people hang out in their mind. You know, it's like, I used to say to people, you know, get out of your own head. It's a bad neighborhood. And that, you know, in a lot of ways and for a lot of years, that was true for me in, you know, in certain respects. And I couldn't figure it out, not 100%. And that bothered me, that I couldn't seem to like get it down. I could get it down for like a week, a couple weeks, but then I'd find myself slipping. And, you know, practicing self-control is literally just about practicing self-control, except you need to actually practice it, not just think about it, not just pray about it, not just meditate on it. Like, it actually needs action, it needs to be done. And in the doing is where I think most human beings find that satisfaction, because at the end of the day, you can say, oh, you know what, I did that. That's the thing about, you know, taking action, is that you actually have proof of your actually have proof in the pudding. You know, it's not just like, oh, I thought about that, but I didn't do it. I meditated on that, but I didn't do it. You know, the magic, a lot of the magic comes in the doing of things. And, you know, these are things like people don't tell each other very much. You know, it's like some fucked up esoteric, you know, Rosicrucian, you know, knowledge that you find like you know, buried on YouTube somewhere. And it's like, you know, ugh. So, and the whole, you know, like wanting to hide knowledge from other people is bullshit. You know, wisdom is actually applied knowledge. It's really nothing more than that. Excuse me. It's really applied knowledge. So when you know something, like I said before, you know, the magic is actually in doing things, and is in the doing of things. And, when you have knowledge, it remains only knowledge until you act upon it, and then it becomes wisdom. But until then, it's just knowledge. It just lives in your head or your heart. Until, you know, the actual acting of it, you know, and making, you know, enacting a deed, you know, doing something, it just remains knowledge only. Stop, Mimu. Stop, my love. So, you know, like, please stop, honey. Stop, lovey. Stop doing that, please. Thank you. Like, you know, the pyramids in Egypt, you know, they were, stop, baby girl. Stop, honey. Stop that, please. You know, all those blocks, you know, I mean, That's like that's like knowledge. You know, you have all these blocks. You have the site that you want to build on and everything else, but it just remains blocks and never becomes a pyramid unless you act on it, unless you put it together and use the knowledge that you have to build that pyramid. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I've been through really hardcore shit. If you've watched any of my other videos, or listened to them, either one, because I tend not to watch videos on YouTube, I tend to listen to them. But I mean, I have gotten so much wisdom out of the smallest things. And, you know, because I put it into action. And that's really where I found the magic, you know, was in the doing of things and finding out for myself also, you know, it's a thing, you know, most humans have a hard time learning, from other people's mistakes, and that's really a downfall. You know, if you can learn from other people's mistakes without having to, you know, repeat them yourself, there's a lot of power in that too. So, you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know some of the things that I've been through so far. And I mean, I haven't even really scratched the surface. I mean, I've been through some shit. I mean, even I look back on it and just go, what? But I mean, that's all true story. It all happened. And,
No.
excuse me. But, oh, excuse me again. But yeah, definitely hang in there. And I don't care who you are or where you're from or what your color, creed, religion, whatever, ethnicity, culture, any of it is. The perseverance and endurance and tenacity that you find is it's a gift. It's a God-given gift. Not everybody has. So, you know, a lot of it's a choice. Most of it's a choice. But I also think, you know, people have certain skills and abilities that they're born with. And, you know, I just really encourage people to find those things and stick with it, because, you know, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. All of it. Anyway, love, blessings, and compassion, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. No one's going to do it for us.